Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, and this is another edition of Unger the Radar presents movie commentaries. And tonight we are going to go to New York City for 1995's Die Hard with a Vengeance, the third installment in the Die Hard franchise, starring, of course, Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and Jeremy Irons. It's a great film. It's one of my all-time favorite action films. And with me tonight, we have to discuss the film, to do a lovely feature-length commentary on the film, Jared Albert. Hello, sir.
Hello. Good to be here.
Yes. And Mr. Dave Wexler. Welcome, sir.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here as well.
Yes. So this movie, it came out in 1995. I was maybe about 10 when I saw it in theaters, and I'm glad I did. This was a perfect movie to see on the big screen, and it has just stuck with me ever since. It's not quite as great as the first Die Hard, but it is a very worthy installment in this franchise. And it is, like I said, one of my favorite action films ever. I just want to hear from you guys real briefly. Dave, what was your first experience like with Die Hard with a Vengeance?
Sure. So yeah, let's see. I was in high school, I guess, when it came out, a little older than you guys probably. But it's actually funny. I really consider Die Hard with a Vengeance my introduction to the Die Hard films. I'd seen most of Die Hard 1, but not all of it, and I think I'd seen it in sort of pieces at this point. So I was kind of late to the picture when it came to Die Hard in general. I hadn't seen 2 at all yet when I saw 3, but 3 is basically the first one I saw from start to finish in one sitting, and I was like, that was awesome. And I remember asking friends ahead of time, I was like, is it gonna matter if I haven't seen the previous Die Hards, or not only part of 1? They're like, it kind of relates to 1, but only a little bit. And just mentioning Hans Gruber, I was like, okay, yeah, that I know, like that's fine. And so I didn't feel like I was missing anything, and I just watched it and was like, this is the better action movies I've ever seen, because it's just awesome and intense from start to finish. There's no downtime, like down moments in the movie, and I was like, this is great. And I think to date, it's still my favorite Die Hard movie, probably for that result, even though that's not a comment on the quality of the films. Die Hard 1 is legendary, but Die Hard 3 is just my favorite personally, I think.
And what's great about it is if the first Die Hard is confined to just one location, one building, very claustrophobic feeling. This movie takes place throughout pretty much the whole island of Manhattan. So it's a sprawling epic, which, it's all over the place. The energy never lets up. It is pulse pounding and extremely exciting. Jared, what was your first experience like?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I saw snippets of the first one on TV, and this was really the first one that I saw out of the Die Hard catalog. And it was also, I'm pretty sure, my introduction to the great Jeremy Irons, or at least the first role that I really noticed him in. And my friends, my best friend, who I'm pretty sure we saw it in the theater together, we would imitate his voice just like we do. Randy and I do. So yeah, no, it was a super fun movie. It was also, I lived in Miami, and I went to New York once as a kid, so I always like movies that were shot in New York and showed the city, and I was like, oh my god, that's the subway that everybody talks about, and the mean New Yorkers in the movie, and the angry cab drivers. So yeah, fun movie. Yeah, great movie.
It's great. So the movie is over 2 hours, so I do want to get things underway.
Yes.
Everybody watching and listening to this right now, I'm personally watching it on Blu-ray, and I believe you two gentlemen are watching, you're streaming?
Yes.
Okay. So right now I have it paused at 1 second into the movie, and you can see the 20th Century Fox logo. So I'm going to count down from 3, and then I'll say play, and once I say play, we will press play. All right, here we go. Die Hard with a Vengeance. 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, it's playing.
Oh, baby.
On Amazon Prime, it comes with a trivia. So I don't know if you want me to read out some trivia. There's already one. Apparently, the screenwriter was detained by the FBI after completing the script because he knew extensive information about the Federal Gold Reserve in downtown Manhattan, and the screenwriter said he got all the information from an article in the New York Times.
Interesting.
I thought The IMDb page too. Yeah,
that's on the IMDb.
Things that will happen when you do research for a movie.
Yeah.
But that's crazy that he got all that information from an article. Seems a little
Yeah.
So maybe the person who wrote the article should have been detained by the FBI.
Yeah, I wonder if they went after that person after. But he probably, the writer probably interviewed people that worked there.
He's in prison right now. No, I'm kidding.
It'd be interesting to hunt down the story to see what you know.
I'm curious now. Yeah, I might after this look for that. What a great opening. I love this song.
Yeah.
Summer in the City. I remember I had the MP3 on my my first MP3 player. Side trivia there.
Because of this movie, or you like the song?
Yeah, you know, maybe of course it's
yes.
Is it Love and Spoonful? Is that who sings it?
Yeah, yeah. I love this. They're just establishing that it's New York. Great shots. And yeah. They really don't make movies like this anymore. It's sad. Like there are like there's very few CGI shots in the film. They rely heavily on practical effects and you know, which is something you rarely see these days. It's sad.
One CGI effect that comes to mind is when he's being blasted through the tunnels,
the drain.
The water.
Yep. Yeah. It was so like obvious CGI.
Yeah, I remember reading, I think around when this came out, that it was a big deal that the whole thing was filmed in New York City, and they did do practical effects like explosions and stuff like that. So they were really, you know, staging and filming explosions in the streets.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
A pretty cool thing to be able to do in the 90s.
Yeah, and it's a testament to the director. So John McTiernan, he did the first film. Before that, he did Predator. I think they wanted him to do Die Hard 2, Die Harder in 1990, but he was already busy with The Hunt for Red October. So it's a shame because, I mean, Die Hard 2 is pretty good, but it's one of the weaker it's definitely the weaker of this trilogy. I don't even count parts 4 and 5. Like
never seen them.
Yeah, I saw 4. So, and that was 12 years after this movie. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, they're going to do another Die Hard. It's going to be even better than With a Vengeance. And it was just a total letdown.
Yeah.
And then
was that with Shia?
No, that was with Timothy Oliphant as the villain. Justin Long. Yeah, he was the like the sidekick.
Oh, wow.
It was.
I really didn't understand the concept of that. It's like, I know people were like, I know what everybody must want out of a Die Hard movie. No. It's not Bruce Willis kicking ass. It's computer stuff.
It was off, you know, it just did not fit with the rest of the films. And then in 2013, they did a Good Day to Die Hard, which I completely skipped because it looked like total garbage.
Yeah. So what order would you put it in? 1, 3, 2?
Yeah, and then I don't even count 4 and 5.
Yeah,
I'd probably do this, but 1 and 3 are very, very, very close for me.
Yeah, because of John McTiernan. He's a great director. He really, he just crafts a great action film, and it's just sad that he doesn't really do them anymore. I don't know. I think his last film might have been Rollerball, or that was one of his last.
Terrible. Yeah. The original's great.
Yeah. Oh, and here's the introduction to John McClane. Hungover. Oh,
this is what I love about it. They don't bother with any sort of like background character stuff, like setting things up. It's just dumping you right into the action.
Yeah.
And it works beautifully.
Yep.
The first film was mostly setup. Like, you know, the first 20 minutes were like, you know, even half hour, I think, was just him at the party at Nakatomi Plaza.
That reminds me when I used to go out to LA for work, and the hotel was right next to Nakatomi Plaza.
That's cool.
So I'd get to walk by it. It's a Fox building.
But wasn't that near or on the lot, like, or near the lot? Warner Brothers, right? Or was it 20?
The Fox? I think it's a Fox lot. Yeah.
Okay.
The Fox lot. Yeah.
Cool. And it's not as big as it looks in the movie. It's like a lot shorter.
Yeah. But I could see Carl Winslow in the bushes. He's still there. Reginald Vell Johnson.
That would have been all if Reginald Vell Johnson were in this movie. That would have been perfect.
Instead of Samuel Jackson.
Yes. Yes. Vell Johnson was actually, he had a very small scene in Die Hard 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. John McClane wanted, he had to fax him some like fingerprints, I think. So he faxes them to Reginald Vell Johnson. He looks them up in the computer, but that was only like a 2-minute scene. And
nice. I remember the big deal in that scene was like, oh, there's this thing called a fax machine. Images over the phone line. And John McClane's like, I don't have to do anything. It just sends it. And like,
witchcraft.
Actually, funny story. My mother recently watched Die Hard 2 with me and my dad when we were home lately, and she is not an action movie person, but she loves Bruce Willis because of Moonlighting way back.
Yeah.
So like she got super into it, and now I'm like, oh, Mom, I'm gonna be on this show talking about Die Hard with a Vengeance. It's my favorite one. You have to watch it, especially before the commentary. And she's like super into it now. She's totally gonna go watch it, and I hope she loves it as much as I do. Which
cool. Yeah, this is definitely one of Willis's best films. Yeah, I'm trying to think. So he did this was 1995. The previous year he did Pulp Fiction, which also starred Samuel Jackson, but they actually never had a scene together in Pulp Fiction. So
they're only in the publicity stills.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're all together in the publicity stills.
Oh,
this is interesting. On the Prime, have you ever watched Prime during a movie? Every time a character pops up, their like real bio pops up, like their actor bio.
Doesn't that only happen when you pause?
I'm moving my mouse around. It's X-ray.
Yeah, the X-ray thing.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'm wondering if I don't know if they already showed the sign or if they cut it.
Yeah,
because
I think they're about to show it for the first time.
Yeah, they are about to show it.
The Blu-ray probably has it. I don't know if
yeah, it's cringeworthy. Everyone listening to this right now, you know what we're talking about. And I think for television, obviously they altered it, to I Hate Everybody.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was.
I thought they just cut out the board, like totally, just like the long show.
No, I think I remember when they played this on cable once. It just said, "I hate everybody."
I hate everybody.
Yeah.
About that in IMDb too. The board, as they used it, was blank, and they CGI'd the message onto it.
And I think they actually filmed this scene in Harlem. So yeah,
that's one of the reasons why they didn't, even they don't want anybody to, essentially not realize they were filming a movie.
Right.
Yikes.
Yeah, you can imagine.
Introduction to Zeus Carver, Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
Great character. They wanted Lawrence Fishburne originally, but I think he wanted too much money.
I could see that as Lawrence Fishburne as a character.
Was cool. Yeah. But not as cool as Reginald Vell Johnson.
No. No, Reginald, I don't think he can't run. I don't think that fast. He couldn't keep up with
Wow. That's funny. And I think this is the only Die Hard film that takes place John McClane's New York City.
Yeah. That was apparently a big deal too. Like, how come there's been a New York City cop who hasn't had a movie that takes place in New York City yet?
Because the first one's in LA, second one DC, and this is the third. So, and I think he went back to DC for Live Free or Die Hard, and in A Good Day to Die Hard, I think I didn't even see it. Was he in Europe or something?
Yeah, wasn't it like his son in the CIA or something like that?
This is a great scene. It's a great movie. Oh, and this was actually the highest grossing movie worldwide of 1995. I was surprised at that.
What year was Con Air? 96?
97.
97.
Yeah.
Con Air.
Yeah, this was 95, and
This was what, June 95? Like summer release?
yeah, it was a summer release. Actually, I think Memorial Day weekend.
McClane is back this Memorial Day.
And by back, we mean he's finally actually in his hometown.
It's great. Oh, here we go. Highest grossing films of 95. This is number 1.
Oh, Jurassic. No, yeah, okay then. No, Jurassic Park was right?
Jurassic Park was 93.
Oof.
Here we go from 2 to 10. Toy Story, Apollo 13, GoldenEye, Pocahontas, Batman Forever, 7, Casper, Waterworld, and Jumanji.
Oh, Waterworld actually made it into the top 10.
Yeah, wow. Good year, though. Good year.
Yeah, it's a good year. But the year before this, 94, had my favorite action movie ever, True Lies.
Yeah.
This might be my second.
True Lies was great when it came out.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
And back to John McTiernan, the direction is like so great. The camera work, he does like a steady cam. You know, you could just feel the urgency.
Yeah, the tension.
Right. I love it. It's like, this is so not what Live Free or Die Hard was, because I thought it would be just like this or even better.
Yeah.
But I'm just grateful we have this movie.
All the computers. It was funny to kind of see them try to translate, the 80s and 90s action bravado of a character like John McClane into like the modern world of like, actually it's information that controls everything. And I don't know.
Yeah. And in the first one, he's depicted as just kind of an average Joe. I think by this film, they kind of make him out to be almost like an action superhero.
I like how they involved his reputation from 1 in 2. Like he was like sort of famous for all the stuff that happened in 1, and just walking around the DC airport.
Yeah.
So
now he's just a drunk deadbeat.
Yep.
Sad.
I was just saying before, I really love the score in this too. Like, I'm not a big score person. I don't really focus on the music a lot, but the music does a great job of emphasizing the tension in this whole movie.
Oh, yeah. So that's by Michael Kamen. He actually did the scores for the first 3 films. His score for the first one is phenomenal. It's great. He also did the score for Robin Hood Men in Tights, 1991. There's a piece of music in that score that's very well known. It's been used in a bunch of 90s movie trailers. But yeah, Michael Kamen, really good composer. Kind of like John Williams, kind of that type. So.
On who? No, just kidding.
Just for a frame of reference.
He's some guy who did that thing for that space movie once.
Yeah. Be great to see like a prequel series, of John McClane as a younger, like
high school.
Not that young. Yippee-ki-yay, mother.
If they did, they'd try to probably get current Bruce Willis to play that role still now.
Yeah, Indiana Jones effect, Harrison Ford.
They're all about de-aging people now for roles, right? They'll totally try to do it with Bruce Willis too.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's funny too with the way that the explosives work in this, where it's like epoxy, you got to mix one thing from the other. Like
Yeah.
What if they just, separate the tanks of the stuff, or like drain them? Like, oh, the materials can't mix. Oh, hey.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Well, they couldn't do that in the later scene when they're on the boat because they were like really heavy tanks.
When they discover the thing in the school, like, can it be like,
Yeah,
hey, look,
they could have like wheeled it out somehow with like a hand truck or something.
I think they also didn't know if it was booby trapped.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally the case. But like, it seems like there are ways around it when you have, the mechanism of two liquids having to mix. Like, even if it's like weighted, okay, as you're draining one tank, fill it with water from the top or something. I don't know.
Right. Oh, that thing, that trivia thing that they do.
Oh, in the park, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not that. I'm talking about like just the big tanks of the chemicals that
on the ship. Yeah.
Like there's ways around it. But I don't know. It's never worth being like, well, what if they just did this when you're watching?
Right.
I actually kind of hate people that do that. So pretend I didn't.
Wow. Oh, is this the first riddle?
Yes.
I think the screenwriter like referenced like all the Mother Goose stories. He did really.
Oh, yeah.
For Simon Says. I think that was the original title. Simon Says.
Oh, right, yeah. Of the screenplay.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that they were thinking of making it like the third Lethal Weapon movie at some point too.
Yeah, it's coming back to me. Yeah, because this movie I think was supposed to be multiple other movies at one point.
Works perfectly as a Die Hard, so that's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Trivia here. First version of the screenplay was based on a speculative script by James Hagan called Troubleshooter, which involved terrorists seizing control of a cruise ship. The idea was abandoned after Under Siege came out in 1992. That script was later became Speed 2 Cruise Control. And there were apparently a lot of different scripts that were rejected, some of which were rejected by Bruce Willis himself. So let's see. Shane Black turned down an offer to write the screenplay after the original Troubleshooter draft was discarded. Yeah, this was the first Die Hard. So Die Hard 2 came out in 1990. So this was half a decade later. So they wanted to make sure they had the right script.
And it was a big deal when it came out. Well, apparently with the box office.
Oh, yeah. I'm very kind of surprised, though, that this was #1 that year. I would have thought Batman Forever or GoldenEye, but this was #1.
Hardly.
And Alan Rickman is credited for this for a small
that little snippet.
Yeah, where he's falling off the building.
I wonder if he got like residuals or.
Probably. I don't know.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. For a 3-second shot.
Yeah, that they just took from the first one.
Ask me, you should have gotten lead billing.
Oh, and Jared, I know you're a South Park buff. They actually parodied this character, the chief here, the captain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, they like there was some character with like a thick mustache, police.
There's a police captain on the show that looks like him. Yeah. It's supposed to be him.
I think so. Yeah. It's funny. Is he on more than one episode?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to watch those.
Yeah, he's a recurring character. Yeah.
Funny. Oh, and this guy was in an episode of Seinfeld. Oh,
Detective Cobb?
no, this the psychiatrist.
Oh,
He was the father of one of the girls that Jerry was dating.
yeah, in the Schindler's List episode, I think.
Right.
Or when they were necking during Schindler's List.
Yeah, the woman, the actress. She was in 2 episodes. She was in the Shrinkage episode, I think.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
That's her father.
Yeah.
We really went off tangent there. We really don't hear about this film a lot these days. It's just so great. I don't get it. It doesn't get the love it deserves. I mean, the first one's a classic, obviously, but come on, this is a quality action film.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold the test of time like the first one because it's not a Christmas movie. The other two clearly are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have just set this during Christmas. It just not really acknowledged anything. Well, then he couldn't have been in a tank top, I guess. Running around.
That's important, the tank top. But maybe it's like the comparison. The first movie is in a closed space, Christmas. This is during the summer.
Yeah.
Sprawling locate, it's all over the place. So maybe it was like, a contrast.
Direct opposite.
Yeah. That's why it works so well.
You know what I just noticed, by the way, and this is totally like a weird thing for me, but I don't know why. Like a bunch of years ago, I started noticing this. Like I just started noticing when certain like A-list celebrities happen to be lefties, and I just know Willis is strapped on for a lefty draw, and like he's probably a lefty.
Wait, Willis is, or
it's like his gun is under his right arm, so he could draw it with his left hand.
Oh, gotcha. I assume you're a lefty, Dave?
I am not a lefty. I don't know why I just did that. Like I just started noticing it a bunch of years ago randomly, and I just kind of kept doing it. Like Ben Stiller, I think the lefty, or at least is on screen.
That is an interesting to be aware of. Okay, cool.
Why my brain does the things like that, but oh, there's a great papaya, man.
Oh, that's good stuff. Good place. I don't know. Is that only a New York thing? I don't even know if it's like all over
I think it's only New York.
Yeah.
There used to be, when I first moved to the city in 2004, Grace Papaya was like the first place I went to because I needed something quick after moving.
Got
a recession special for $2.75.
Yeah.
It's like $5.
For like, for $3-4, you get 2 hot dogs and a drink. It's like, you really can't beat that. And it's really good too.
Best food deal in New York.
I could go for one right now, actually.
Oh, we're about to get the
second.
Garrett's Zoom background is about to.
There it is. Wait.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming.
Donuts product placement in that case.
There's no way Samuel Jackson could hear on the phone.
Yeah.
I wonder if this movie could have been made all as effectively today as it was back then with, since we have cell phones now.
Right.
It'd be like a completely different plot.
It would have to be.
Yep. Cell phones were sort of just becoming like, well, not even mainstream, but they were things, but not like common.
Right.
Yeah, there's a scene where he accidentally shoots a cell phone that was in his pocket, and it's one of those big ones,
Yeah.
It only costs $8 a minute.
Oh, and John McTiernan wanted Sean Connery as Simon Gruber. he said he turned down the role, saying that he didn't want to play such a diabolical villain. That would have been interesting. Sean Connery in this?
Really, him as the bad guy in the Avengers movie, not Marvel. The other Avengers movie wasn't diabolical enough. Also, I love it in this scene where like Zeus is explaining that it's like, oh, it's the one guy. He's like, well, where's the guy with the sax going?
Imagine being an extra in this movie. A New York extra in this movie. I love it.
Yep.
My uncle actually saw them film a scene that's coming up.
Oh, really?
Right, yeah, where he removes the subway grate and like jumps down onto a train.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool scene to watch.
I would have loved to have seen that person.
Like, you know, I was technically walking through Washington Square Park when they were filming scenes of I Am Legend. It's like, oh, maybe I'm in that. I was like, oh wait, no, there's literally no people in that movie aside from all zombies. Never mind.
I love this, yeah.
It's kind of funny when I walk through the park. There's a bunch of like blown up, like hollowed out cars, you know, for the scene in the movie. And one of them was just like in a regular parking spot on Waverly Place, like between two like actual cars. And so I remember, what is up with that? A car between two regular cars. Oh, movie, right?
So in the original Die Hard, the villains are assumed to be terrorists, but turn out to be thieves. In Die Hard 2, the villains are assumed to be thieves, but turn out to be terrorists. Here, the villains turn out to be terrorists and thieves. The subsequent sequels do not follow this formula.
I love this. The whole scene driving through Central Park.
Oh, yeah. And McTiernan said that there were stunt drivers because actors driving in scenes like this, it's very dangerous. So they use,
of course.
Yeah. But it looks very real, like he's actually driving. Some shots he is.
Park Drive.
They're basically going all over the city in this movie. How the heck did they do that? I mean, very ambitious, very expensive.
Yeah.
I remember when I first saw this too, where he's like, they have to get like, was it from like 125th Street down to Wall Street in like an hour and a half or something, like 90 minutes. I was like, that's such a long time. Like a week after living in New York City, I was like, oh, that's impossible. Yeah, now I get it. No way you can do that. Kind of one of the things I love about this movie is it's totally a movie for New Yorkers in that way a lot too. Just the fact that it does take place in New York. They film it all in New York.
Yeah. They mention all the streets and everything, the landmarks, and
it's great.
I actually lived in New York. I feel like this movie's gonna do a whole lot more for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it doesn't, isn't a great movie for other people. It's just that special thing with New York City adds a lot to it.
It's almost a love letter to the city, kind of like Woody Allen, but with guns.
Woody Allen with guns. I think that's my.
That's interesting.
There you go, Central Park South.
Yeah.
Welcome to Midtown.
It's great. And while they were driving through the park, there you could hear a Wilhelm scream. You know that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
I love that sound effect. It's like it's an abbreviated version of it, but it's there.
Like no good action like TV show or movie is complete without a Wilhelm scream.
Indeed.
I love that as soon as I learned what that was, I started hearing it everywhere, and I still get giddy when I hear it.
I think I saw a YouTube video once where they had like every single Wilhelm used in a movie or TV.
That must have been long. The circle.
Oh yes.
Is it? Or, yeah, I think it is. The car just driving away with like flying debris. That's all you can see.
How did they not kill anybody?
They probably do, but you know, that part out of the final cut. Like, imagine the paperwork nightmare this whole movie would create.
Oh God. McClane filling out a police report for everything.
I was about to say that would have been a better Die Hard 4 than what actual Die Hard 4 was. Just McClane doing work for 2
Just
hours.
him sitting at a desk typing.
Wearing a lot.
I like that. Die Hard, die of boredom? I don't know.
Die of boredom. That's how the terrorists really win. They get paperwork.
Oh, here comes my favorite shot of him running down the sidewalk. I don't know. It's just a simple shot. It's so good. And he could just lift this thing up like nothing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure those are like bolted down into the side.
Yeah.
You know, he just does it like nothing. Oh.
Signals.
Oof.
New York City subway signals. It's great.
Apparently, this actor was on Gossip Girl.
Guy in the back of the cab.
Yeah.
Who did he play? Like a
Bill Cooks.
Like an upbeat father.
I'm not sure. He's in Gotham.
Oh, okay.
And MASH.
Ash.
Yeah.
He must have been like a kid or a teenager.
I think the movie. But still,
that's 70s.
Yeah.
Probably very young, yeah. Oh, and this scene coming up with the phone, they actually they sort of remade it in a scene in The Incredibles with Samuel L. Jackson's character Frozone. There's a cop who's like holding him at gunpoint. Oh, yeah. And basically the dialogue is almost exactly the same. It's weird that they chose that scene.
Like, if he can take this thing off the wall and throw it out the window, he probably could like stream food from the actual tanks. Just,
and
no bomb.
Yeah.
One doesn't seem quite as booby trapped. Damn it, Dave, stop doing that. You love this movie. Stop criticizing things like.
I mean, if he tried to separate both containers of liquid, I think there would have been a booby trap, and they would have just
like how big of an explosion would that have been if the bulk of the device is two separate liquid tanks?
I don't know.
Like a firecracker? I don't know. Again, nitpicking when I shouldn't be.
No, please nitpick all you want. That's the purpose of this. It's entertainment and education at the same time.
This guy's name is Ralph Buckley.
The cop?
The businessman at the station. I might be a little behind. The guy on the payphone that Zeus was talking to.
He kind of looks like the guy from the lottery, New York Lotto commercials back in the 90s. I don't know if it's the same guy, but do you remember those?
Well, I wouldn't know those.
Oh yeah, yeah. Dave, do you remember that guy?
Not really. Vaguely familiar, but
yeah, right. He didn't have to draw his gun. There's no real reason for that.
The cop?
Yeah.
They never do.
Hmm.
They never do have a reason.
Scott Nicholson played him.
Hmm. Free train. Yeah, and those are all stunt actors on the train platform.
Of course.
Yeah.
Love how something like that happens, and they're like, "Yeah, nobody dies."
Yeah.
This scene just jogged my memory. I remember HBO. They used to play the behind the scenes of Die Hard 3 on HBO.
I love the random shot of like the people in the office overlooking the Wall Street subway station, popcorn, and like, and then a couple minutes from now when they're watching them like start to clean stuff up.
Yeah. An attempt at humor.
It's like that's so New York.
So Willis and Jackson were in this Pulp Fiction. They were in Unbreakable and Glass. Might be missing one or two other films, but yeah, just great chemistry.
There they are, popcorn eaters. Love it. They're asking for you to Mr. Carver.
I know.
Perfect New York accent. Half my family sounds like that. I love it.
Oh, the Hans Gruber cameo, Alan Rickman, is coming up. Oh, and the actor in the back behind McClane.
Yeah.
He was actually in the first Die Hard, but as a completely different character. He was one of the Los Angeles cops on the ground by Nakatomi Plaza, and he was credited as young cop. But here he's Ricky Walsh.
Also older cop.
Yeah, exactly. Quite a stretch. Yeah, Anthony Peck is his name.
Yeah.
Related to Gregory?
Yeah, I think this is one of the last movies where Bruce Willis had hair. Probably 1997's The Fifth Element was the last time he had like hair.
Yeah, and then he shaved it, right?
Yeah, I think Armageddon is where he was like, I don't know if he was completely bald then, but
it was pretty close. Yeah,
I love how he's like, it's like the perfect Bruce Willis thing to do. Is like, I'm so badass, I'm not gonna take it when a little bit of hair goes away. I'm gonna get rid of all the hair.
Go away. Well, no, he did.
Do it.
Perfect Bruce Willis.
Nice. So other than the Die Hard movies, are you guys Bruce Willis fans, Dave?
I mean, as much as the next person, I'm not like a
Die Hard fan.
Yeah, but I really like most of the movies he's made. He's made some. Oh, there it was. I just got
there. It is. Yes. That was like 1.5 seconds.
Yeah.
2 seconds tops.
Yeah, half a second maybe. Top billing. Give him top billing. Anyway, yeah, like you mentioned The Fifth Element. That's a good one. I always loved Hudson Hawk, and like he's just a good action star. It's like anytime he heads up an action movie, I'm like, well, yes, I would like to check that out. Just Bruce Willis in an action role. I may not, pay for a movie ticket every time, but
I'm a big fan of the Last Boy Scout. I think that was pretty damn good.
Randy knows that when I was a kid, I used to write celebrities for their autographs, and I wrote Bruce Willis. This must have been around this time. And I actually got 2 back in the mail. They're fake. I mean, they're printed, but it's so crap. Let me turn off the background. It's so like 90s. It's really funny.
Wait, they're fake? How do you know they're not real?
I mean, they're like, they're like photocopied on top. It's not like his real I mean, it's his signature, but it's like printed.
That looks like, that looks like Pulp Fiction, that era, like early to mid 90s. That's cool. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
That almost looks like him from was it
Bandits?
Jackal?
Jackal. Yeah. Yeah.
Jackal was good. Richard Gere is the hero. Yeah, I like that movie. Wow. Yeah, Bandits, I remember seeing that in theaters, was not impressed.
I kind of liked it.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to give it another try, but yeah.
Pretty sure I wrote Jeremy Irons too back in the day. Never got anything back.
No? Damn. Not a chance.
Yeah, seriously. He was too busy.
Yeah. When you said at the beginning that this is like your intro to Jeremy Irons, I was been trying to think since then if I remember seeing him in something before this. I don't know if I have. Like he might have been, or if I did, I didn't like really know who he was or
right.
Probably my introduction to him too.
Well, he was the voice of Scar in The Lion King a year
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always a little different when they do voice work because you can't see their face associated with it,
Yeah, that's true. But I was aware of him.
Yeah, it must have been too, but I can't remember like specifically seeing him in anything
like before that, or let's see.
This might have been my introduction to him. He did a really good movie. Oh, damn it. It was directed by David Cronenberg. It was like late 80s, where he played twins. It was him as both characters. And it gets into like this twisted romance, like the woman doesn't know who she's sleeping with. And it's if you guys know David Cronenberg, he's out there. He's a great filmmaker, does a lot of horror and thrillers, and he did The Fly and Naked Lunch, among many others. But Irons was in that. Great performance, and he's just a very unique actor, very, very different type of actor.
David Cronenberg do Scanners.
The exploding head.
I love that. And here he is.
Simon Gruber.
They bolted.
It's great. It's all in the voice. It really.
Yeah, he has a great voice.
I keep thinking of the Family Guy episode with the Jeremy Irons cereal.
I assure you.
It's quite bland, I assure you. There's nothing at the bottom, just more cardboard.
There was and then the Al Pacino cappuccino maker that I sent you. And then there was another one that I wanted to send you, but I couldn't find the clip. It was a Benicio del Toro pen or something. And it pretty much just like told you to like go fuck yourself or something.
So stupid. I love it.
Yeah, I remember thinking earlier, like, this is something this movie does so good too. Like this scene in the 911 office is like maybe 30 seconds long. And like these characters aren't really important to the overall plot of the thing, but just like little scenes like this are done so well, just add so much to it. Like like they don't just tell you like, oh yeah, we're routing all the calls through 911. They show you that for a minute and just like how crazy it is literally for everybody. It just keeps the tension level so high throughout from start to finish.
She just mentioned Donald Trump.
Yep.
And I'm gonna marry Donald Trump.
And later on, Bruce Willis mentions Hillary Clinton.
No, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. This is the actor from the first Die Hard, young cop. He was in a couple of John McTiernan's films, but mostly as supporting characters.
On the IMDb trivia section that if you wanted to actually get all the gold out of the Federal Reserve, it would take something like 490 like dump trucks instead of the. I love how Ricky doesn't think anything about a guy just stepping up and grabbing onto one of those dump trucks, then riding with it from the outside.
Yeah, this looks so suspicious.
Holy Toledo.
Somebody had fun.
Somebody had fun.
It's great. Poor Ricky Walsh is about to get killed.
You just make a world trade comment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bombing attempt in the 90s, right?
And I think this actually came out after the Oklahoma City bombing. So kind of a touchy, delicate time to have a movie like this.
That shot where it starts from above the door, just comes in behind them. Love just the snare drum in the background too, like a military march kind of thing.
And the theme to this was when Johnny comes marching home for the Simon character. In the first Die Hard, it was Ode to Joy, Beethoven's Ninth Symphony for Hans Gruber's theme.
Ah.
It's got such a great frown.
Hey, that looks familiar.
Wait, they're on the opposite side. Oh, my image is flipped.
It looks right. It's right for me. I could see it. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Sounds nothing suspicious at all.
Those are cool sunglasses.
Yeah, very Jeremy Irons.
I think only he could pull them off.
Yeah, it's the Jeremy Irons collection.
He actually made a good Alfred in the most recent Batman films, Justice League. I think he was.
I did see. Yeah, I did see. He was good.
Yeah, I liked him more than Michael Caine. A lot of people will probably disagree with that, but
I was not a big fan of the Michael Caine casting as
it was kind of off.
Yeah, they did like the Jeremy Irons one. You get the impression when he was like, fixing electronics in the Batcave that he actually knew what he was doing. I see Michael Caine having pulled that off.
And the sarcasm really worked with his voice.
Yeah. Good Lord. I love his accent.
And did they kill him or just knock him out?
Yeah, who knows?
They knock out
probably knocking them out.
Yeah. And I don't think John McClane has actually killed anyone yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you believe that nobody died on the subway thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Or
right.
is driving. Yeah.
Guy's got good reflexes.
And Jared, was it you or was it me who looked up the blue tank top on eBay?
Probably both of us.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be great. Autographed by Jeremy.
Yeah.
Would you wear it or would you like frame it?
Let's sleep in it.
Yeah.
Put it on a mannequin, and then it comes to life. Right?
Well, Jared,
I'm sorry. What prop would you want
from most? This?
Yeah.
Huh. Good question.
Like a gold bar or like one of the bombs.
One of the bombs would be cool.
I want this knife that she's about to use to kill the guy.
Yeah.
Like a curved blade. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I would get one of those gallon jugs autographed by
all of your 3 or 5 gallon water need.
She has issues.
So were they like actually allowed to film this in the Federal Reserve, or
this is probably set?
Yeah, I doubt it.
I can put any random people in front of that much gold. Thompson Square Park. Dumbass. I used to live like a 15-minute walk from Tompkins Square Park, and I only really went in there like a small handful of times.
Is there really an elephant statue?
I don't actually know. I would imagine so if this is all filmed on location, unless it's changed since the 90s.
I don't know.
There's a couple of really nice dog runs in that park. It's like very good. My old roommate used to work at a bar right in the corner of the park too. Fun place. 7B. On the corner of 7th and B. Otherwise known as the horse. Actually, it's funny, that bar, otherwise known as the Horseshoe Bar, is in like every single episode of like Law and Order, where they have to like film some, like it's probably the most commonly used indoor bar space in New York. If you saw Luke Cage on Netflix, the Luke Cage show, his bar in like the early episodes was the same bar.
Was that in was that location also in Jessica Jones?
Yeah, in fact, was it actually in that first? It must have been. Yeah, wait, yeah, because Luke Cage was introduced in Jessica Jones. Yeah, so it was in Jessica Jones that I was talking about. Like, yeah, when she first meets him, the bar that he owns is that bar on 7th and B.
The interior.
Yeah, the interior.
Cool.
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, so I'm not very good at math.
Yeah, this one is, yeah.
This was always a tricky scene for me.
Fill the 3-gallon all the way up, pour it into the 5-gallon, and then fill it the 3-gallon up again, pour it in the 5-gallon until it's full, and that would leave 1 gallon, right, in the 3-gallon one, and then you pour out the 5-gallon. And then
there is another way to do it where you can end up with like 2 gallons at one point in the 3-gallon.
Right.
Good line.
It's kind of funny. They're like, "Oh, serious conversation about race relations." Oh, just kidding. We have like
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I think I'd watch a whole movie of Bruce Willis just swearing at people too. More of a plot than that. Completely across Greenwich Village. That's where the nearest A train is. This kid's got a great New York accent too.
Oh yeah. You could steal City Hall.
City Hall.
That'd be kid number 1, Patrick Barillo.
Thank you,
And
Jack.
kid number 2, Victor Rojas, in the back. Still City Hall.
That kid ever grow up to do anything else?
Let me see.
He looks familiar.
He was in The Irishman.
Oh wow.
He was in Gotti, the John Travolta one. A Bronx Tale.
I'm guessing he's Italian.
Yeah.
Pattern, yeah.
I did a little bit.
By the way, I think that shot we just saw was CGI'd also, where like he's riding down the street on the bike and
Yeah.
One of the few CGI shots. And Live Free or Die Hard is like full of them. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. That was like the era where Hollywood thought that everything they did by CG like looked realistic, but it didn't actually.
Not at all.
I'm thinking of Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The guns?
No, that looked good, but there was a scene where he was in a zoo And
yeah, oh yeah, the crocodiles.
yeah, like got loose and he shoots him in the mouth, and it looks so bad.
Yeah, I liked Eraser.
Me too. And this year celebrates its 25th anniversary, so
Oh my god,
might have to do
Jeez.
a commentary for that.
I definitely saw that in the theater with my dad.
Yeah, same.
I don't remember much about that movie. I definitely saw it, but I saw it that once and like never really thought about it much again.
Yeah,
That was one of the last like regular style Schwarzenegger action movies. He kind of, I think he had like heart surgery around a little bit after that time, after Batman and Robin, which was the following year, 97. 97, he also did Jingle All the Way. But yeah, he returned to acting that style in 1999 with End of Days. But yeah, Eraser was like the last of the classic Arnold.
Remember The Sixth Day? That had really bad special effects too.
Yeah,
I actually really
that was
liked
like that about clones and
yeah, I didn't like that.
the idea of the whole thing was pretty cool, and some of it was pretty well executed on the idea level, but it just looked bad. Like the special effects.
Yeah.
The concept was very cool though. Downfall of a lot of movies. Good concept, but poor execution.
Live Free or Die Hard, prime example.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the Ben Stiller show parody of Die Hard?
Yeah,
In the supermarket, Ben Stiller.
yeah.
I forgot what it was called. Die Hard, something like Die Hard 8.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in a while, but yeah.
Very silly, very funny. Yabba dabba doo.
The great scene in the elevator here.
Oh yeah, I think it was the first kill. McClane.
Yeah.
Halfway through the movie. Oof. See, this has the feel of the first film, that enclosed, claustrophobic feeling.
Yep.
It's great. And the score, of course.
Yeah.
Classic.
Probably shouldn't run towards a guy with a gun. Conveniently placed dripping water to clean himself off.
Yeah.
Where's that water coming from?
Yeah, exactly.
It's this safe. Oh, Ricky Walsh.
This is heavy. I thought he's taking the bar of gold with him. Yeah, we'll see. You name a single other time where you saw a Yugo in a movie? Around by the mid 90s.
Yeah, the fun.
There's a Hillary Clinton reference.
She'd be the 43rd.
Yeah. Probably the last advertisement that Yugo ever had.
A shit car.
Yeah. Built for economy, not speed. First of all, if they're going under the UN, it's not like a full tunnel. It's still like a little bit open. Second of all, it lasts like 2 blocks. 10 seconds. A little more than 2 blocks. But still, when you're going full speed in the FDR, it takes a few seconds. Look at those lazy guys sleeping on the job.
Dead tired.
Elvis Duran. There's a good.
Still on the air.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
This was 20 now 26 years ago.
Oh, that's the same Wall Street guy from before, isn't it?
Yeah. That actor was also in Spider-Man. Also like a Wall Street type guy. That would have been good for a Wilhelm Scream. That's
I love how like it's so easy to get another guy to stop by just swerving in front of him in a movie. Like, you just ram the shit out of you and knock you out of the way. I love this guy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Comic relief.
What is his name? Jerry Parks. I'm sorry. What was his name? Oh no, that Joe Zaloom is his real name. He's born in Utica.
Oh, I'm thinking of The Office.
Yeah. Or steamed hams.
A lot of information he's providing.
Yeah.
He's very helpful.
The foreman's like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
I would totally take a tour from this guy of like anything.
Jerry.
Yeah.
He'd be a good Super Mario, actually.
Yep. The valves. Tell me about the valves.
Or it says Jerry on his helmet. He just figures that they're the bad guys, and what if they weren't? He just murdered people.
Not the first time, or not the only time he does that in this movie either.
True. There's a Christmas reference.
Hey, he made a Christmas reference. Does that mean like the other guy has? No, he's sleeping like the guys in the elevator. It's the font of information, Jerry.
They could have had some cool action sequences at the stadium, but I guess they couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
You know, he's only here for this one scene.
Yeah, it's kind of out of place, this scene. I
Hmm.
don't know. It's kind of, I don't know if they needed it.
Yeah. Well, so I guess they were planning on just killing them there anyway, right?
Right. Yeah, I guess that's yeah.
And
They were going to kill him, I guess, when they looked at that.
their actual
Yeah.
John McClane. Yeah. Oh, my stream isn't subtitling the German. It's okay. I know what they say. I've seen this like 20 times.
Jerry.
Jerry's the real hero of this movie. Imagine how different this movie would be if that plank fell down like not after bad guys were driving. Like if like the truck did that. Okay, maybe not that much, but how colorful. Jeremy Irons is so perfect. If this aqueduct goes all the way down like into Manhattan, imagine like the havoc that would actually caused to New York City. Probably would kill some people too, speaking of collateral damage. Third Samson Earth Movers.
Think it's real?
Flushing, Long Island.
Wouldn't be surprised if like Thur was like, you know, the last name of like some producer's daughter or the first name.
No, probably.
Like one of them.
Hi, I'm Thur.
So Bruce Willis is going about that entirely wrong.
That's cool.
Yes.
Moving so fast.
Very unrealistic, him escaping, like turning the truck around and actually trying to beat it.
Nice, like 3-point turnaround here. Just with a freaking dump truck full of gold. Totally real water. Yeah,
so unrealistic. Even as a kid, that annoyed me. How unrealistic.
Oh, and the score, they actually used the tune from Singing in the Rain.
Really?
Very briefly, you could hear it, but clever.
Is this a better version of Waterworld than Waterworld? You know, I actually like Waterworld. I make fun of it because of its like, you know, kind of mythology around it, but I actually enjoyed that movie quite a bit.
It's got a really good villain in Dennis Hopper.
I liked its post-apocalyptic world.
It wasn't the most expensive movie ever made.
Yep. That's really, I feel like, where all the crap it gets comes from. Just the amount they put into it to get that kind of product. It's like if that product with like half the budget, it's just like, okay, fine, it's a decent Hollywood, you know, summer blockbuster.
Yeah, it didn't look that expensive. I mean, I don't know. They could have done all of that on sets, on sound stages.
Anything that involves like water or do it on the ocean, like it costs so much more money because boats are very, very expensive. That's my very uninformed take on the whole thing. Remember the movie Master and Commander?
Yeah.
Russell Crowe? Yeah.
Yeah.
Make apparently just because they had all those boats and a lot of them were old and filming shit on the water is difficult. So, let's assume they ran into the same problem with Waterworld. That they spent way too much on like M&Ms for the director. I don't know.
Oh, this is a great scene. It's all practical. I love it.
Speaking of convenient, I love how like McClane flies up from the pipe right when
Yeah.
driving from the timing. Well, yeah. Wait, before John even went into the aqueduct, he went to Yankee Stadium first, then started driving up the Sawmill, right? Is that right, or did I get the timing backwards?
Yeah, he drove from the stadium to where they are now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect 360.
Yeah.
Dodge trucks, what all bad guys drive.
For a second, I thought that was Charles S. Dutton from the show Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Dressed the same way.
Oh, I forgot that the kids hit jerks.
Look at that shaky steady cam. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Unsteady cam.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
This is how NYPD cops interrogate. Reminds me of one of my favorite Far Side comics, where it's like two guys in like a standoff, like two cowboys like in a one-on-one gunfight, and one of them's just dead on the ground, and the other standing over him with a gun, and he's like, "What's the square root of 42? What's the capital of Arizona?" Like, Joe, you idiot! You can't actually shoot first and ask questions later.
Far Side. Wow, that takes me back. Good stuff.
So, he does kind of cover himself a little bit there. He does say there's a bunch of booby traps. So, okay. I give you that.
Mm-hmm.
But the small one in the subway, I don't know. If everyone else is just like honking.
That's like a military thing, like that climbing a rope.
Yeah.
They're pretty good at that.
They got gloves. Samuel Jackson was wearing gloves.
Hmm.
I don't know where he got them from.
Standard issue NYPD glove. This guy in the boat.
Die Hard.
Snap. And they survived that too. No problem.
No broken bones.
Yeah.
They're fine. Just a couple of scratches.
I kind of love this moment where it's like, get his feet. They're both direction.
There's a similar scene in Con Air where Danny Trejo is like split in half.
At the end,
Carrying his arm. Like,
take him away, and the arm is just left hanging.
right.
Yep.
90s.
Oh yeah. Good old 90s.
Good.
Samuel L. Jackson's character, Zeus, is pretty good at, like, he's a civilian. He's seen some gruesome shit today, and he's like pretty chill.
Yeah.
how McClane doesn't even notice the safety's still on.
Right.
Yeah.
It would have been step 2 after pull the thing back.
Safety catch.
John McClane really wanted to find like, why is he going down? Like, he should be the one going up. That guy could be okay.
Yeah.
He won't have a good life after this, but yeah.
Up the egg.
The egg.
No one eats an egg better than Jeremy Irons.
The egg and Jerry, the real heroes of the
Yes.
henchmen look mean.
Oh.
Somebody actually takes the gun from him. He's like, here, I got this. Also, I can't believe like Zeus doesn't just explode at fucking McClane later. Like, you didn't tell me about the goddamn safety. Oh, it's McClane's second straight up murder. I wonder if that would take on a little different, meaning in today's context. Like, yeah, cop just shot a guy when he was yelling, "Don't shoot at him." That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that like way back when I saw this, be like, so he said, "Don't shoot," and McClane shoots him and just says something to try to be a badass. Like, that's not a good look. Say it mildly.
He just assumes everybody on that ship is a bad guy.
Yeah. Sort of a fair assumption, kind of, but even still, like.
Oh, and the scene with McClane fighting this tall guy, I think it was originally supposed to be much more gruesome. But
Yeah.
they toned it down a bit.
Oh, really?
It's very similar to the fight in the first film with Alexander Goodnov.
Yeah.
The blonde-haired villain. Who actually, that actor he actually died, I think, right before this movie was released. He was only 45. I think it was AIDS related, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty good fight with Targo. I wish you got to see more of it, though.
Yeah. Definitely. Oh no, it wasn't AIDS. It was hepatitis, secondary to chronic alcoholism.
Oh, yikes!
Yikes.
Oof.
Yeah.
Charlie tries to be the real hero of the movie, but we all know it's Jerry.
Definitely the egg. McClane's gonna need a shower after this.
Yeah.
Possibly a transfusion.
Yeah.
must be in like so much pain as he's still got like metal
in his arm. Yeah, I love that.
Is it a full functionality, of course.
He's just living on adrenaline right now.
Pretty much.
Score's great right now.
Mhm.
Oof.
Got his number. I just thought it'd be great that, like, he starts playing the recorded message. It'd be great if it like cuts back to it when it ends and she comes back on the line. She's like, okay, we're ready to start recording. Come to think of it, I just realized, given like where they are, if I was living where I am right now,
You
when
could hear it.
it happened, I would very much be able to see it. Like right on the water in the coast of Connecticut, in like Stamford. So definitely visible from anywhere between New York and Bridgeport, where the Coast Guard is.
Huh.
Or at least the Coast Guard is in this movie. I tried to look up once if there's actually a Coast Guard, like, office or whatever you call it in Bridgeport. I don't think there is. Or at least when I looked it up. I could be wrong though.
I don't know. Something worth researching.
Yeah.
Maybe I could be a land guy.
Like back in the 90s. In the 90s, all the Coast Guard Bridgeport needed was just to be Bridgeport. Nobody really wanted to go there anyway.
It's probably a Bridgeport Coast Guard base, I guess you'd call it.
I'm not sure if there is. I'm going to Google it again.
This movie is, I mean, as ridiculous it is somewhat grounded in reality, like the Federal Reserve, you know, the schools, the parks. It's all pretty accurate.
The ability to function fully with massive bodily injury. It's totally.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, you know what I saw? Like in this scene, I think it was probably one of the first times you can see it. I read this on the IMDb page also, that Katya, like, you know, she doesn't say anything in the movie. Like you can see it in that shot. She's got like scarring on her neck.
Yeah. Oh, that's why she doesn't say anything. Huh.
I didn't realize that until literally earlier today when I read it.
Yeah, I just saw that and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. But I didn't notice that she didn't say anything in the entire movie.
Well, her vocal cords sustained damage, I guess.
I guess something. Yeah.
Or maybe she's just that cold and calculated, and
it's part of her very deep, very elaborate backstory that nobody ever will.
Yeah.
I only got 12 more fibers in my shoulder.
If that doesn't work, I've got plenty more.
Parody, you keep dropping it and like you keep pulling it.
Oh, and the actress who played Holly McClane, Bonnie Bedelia, she declined. Yeah. She refused to be in the film. I don't know why. She just declined to be in it.
Really?
Yeah. I found out in the trivia, but there was no reason why.
Huh.
That would have made for an interesting supporting character appearance.
Yeah. That's
because she was in the first two, you know? I don't know.
There is a U.S. Coast Guard auxiliary flotilla in Fairfield, which is the next town over from Bridgeport, but not actually in Bridgeport.
Close enough.
It looks like there's one in Stratford, which is on the other side of Bridgeport from Fairfield. So there's one on either side, but not actually Bridgeport. At least as of now.
Maybe they moved.
Different in 1995. Very true. Yeah, see, like he can poke holes in the tanks, right?
Yeah.
Like, I guess they don't really need fail safes on their own boat, but you never know. Yeah, like actually jump down from that with a bullet wound in his leg.
With a bullet wound, yeah.
And this was a trend in a lot of 90s action movies, was to jump or run away from an explosion.
Yeah, which makes
I don't know why. Like all of them did this. A trademark of 90s action.
There's no way they would have survived that. You see that shockwave?
Yeah, they're unconscious underwater, but yeah, they're totally fine.
Yeah.
Oh, and they tied sandbags to Samuel L. Jackson's feet to keep him from rising to the top, to make it look more realistic in some of the shots.
Excellent sass.
At least they got rinsed off all the blood and dirt.
Yeah.
Salt water probably sterilizes some of their wounds in some way, right? Doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, he gave him a quarter to let him make a collect call? What a thief.
And so Bonnie Bedelia, I don't think that's her voice on the other end of the phone.
Be in the movie.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you'd have a credit.
Well, John? I've been saying, like, are you there, you son of a bitch? Like, right as it's cutting away. John McClane did kill some folks. Oh, right. Yeah, to them. Ooh, sexy look. When I was like 16 and first saw this, I was like, God damn, she's attractive. How they flirt in East Germany. Yeah, you can see the scarring on her neck here too.
Yeah.
And they ripped the tank top. God damn it.
It's gonna ruin its value on eBay so much.
Oh.
Okay, I take it all back. The aspirin bottle, the real hero of the movie.
Yeah, it were kind of ridiculous that they would print their name on the bottom of the bottle, but okay.
So you guys both saw the alternate ending?
I haven't seen the whole thing yet. I literally just discovered that like hours before we started, and I didn't get to watch it yet.
Yeah, I watched it a long time ago, but I'm forgetting what happened, and I didn't click on the link.
So John McClane tracks down Simon to like a restaurant in somewhere in Europe. Brings with him a bazooka, but he removes the directional arrows on it. So instead, he plays a game with Simon called McClane Says.
Okay.
And it's sort of like Russian roulette, and like every time McClane asks him a question, he has to like turn the bazooka on the table to either him or McClane.
Right.
But nobody knows where the rocket is going to fire out of.
Right.
Eventually, Simon, it ends up on Simon, and he shoots himself with the rocket and kills him. It's kind of a weird death.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, because I mean, it's weird. It's like the rocket goes through him, but it doesn't blow up really.
Right.
It's
weird.
Odd. I don't know. I don't know which ending I like more.
The bazooka, they'd probably all die anyway.
Yeah, it's like, wouldn't that blow up like the entire
building? You guys
building?
have to watch it. You'll see what I mean. It's very strange the way it happens.
Right.
It doesn't explode. It just goes through Simon and kills him.
It acted like a big spear gun, basically.
I guess.
Just do that.
They figured that ending was a lot darker, and it didn't really fit McClane's personality of being like a vengeful, dark, violent guy. But I
think it was kind of cheesy here how like they're basically going after a private army and there's like no weapons on the helicopter. Like,
well, the stakes are high, as always with John McClane.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the first Die Hard, all he had was his handgun, and he probably had maybe like two or three clips.
Yeah, from the start. Yeah. At the end, I love how this scene itself kind of mirrors Die Hard. She's got 2 bullets in a revolver.
And that's why they probably picked this ending, because it fits more with John McClane's personality. John McClane.
It's a little ridiculous to go up against a helicopter with a machine gun. Once in a revolver, but hey, they made it work.
Yeah. And here, instead of just shooting John McClane, he just smiles.
That "say hello to your brother" was like added later because he's totally covering up his mouth with his hand, with the gun there. They're like, all right, we'll put in the one-liner we come up with at a later date.
Yeah, this ending, it just doesn't it doesn't really fit with the rest of the movie, but I still kind of
yeah.
It feels like kind of rushed, and like, just I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, I still don't think they got the right ending for this. I mean, it's kind of dumb how they did the aspirin bottle, and that's how to find them. And
still, seriously, like, why doesn't John McClane have like an actual weapon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have just borrowed a handgun from one of his colleagues and brought some backup with him.
Assault rifle.
Yeah, now the cops show up.
Yeah.
The other ending, that would have worked apparently.
It's so weird because the whole movie takes place in New York, and now he's in Canada. Like,
yeah,
it's odd, but I still love this movie.
Yep, still my favorite Die Hard.
So how's it feel?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Jared, when was the last time you saw this?
Yeah, like the entire movie. Geez, I don't even know. So it's been like years and years.
Like, I think this is always on cable, right? So
Yeah.
It is, yeah. But from like start to finish, I haven't watched it in a long time.
Yeah, this is one of those movies where if I'm just like bored and flipping around channels on TV, it's always like an insta stop and watch the rest of it from wherever it is.
Definitely.
Yes, actually, it's a good question. I don't know if I actually sat down and watched the entire thing from start to finish last either, because I've always done that with it. Just finding it on TV, like, oh yep, I'll watch it from the middle. I don't care.
It just has a great pace, just it flows so well.
It's a fun one. It definitely is.
Yeah. I just wish Die Hard 2 were a little bit better, because then it would be like a perfect trilogy, but
yeah. No, I need to watch number 2 again. I'm gonna do that.
It works, but something's missing. I think it's John McTiernan's direction that's
I still love William Sadler as one of the bad guys in that.
Yeah, very different from Alan Rickman, but still very effective as a villain.
Was he like a German or like an American bad guy?
He's an
American he was Colonel Stewart.
Okay.
Yeah. He I don't remember the nationality of the terrorists in that, but
it was like implied he was like Cuban, but he's definitely like a somewhere from south of the USA.
Yeah. Looks good there.
I got the impression he was sort of trying to be a parody of Castro, but I could be wrong there. There are lots of
the military general who they want to like break out of prison, who came in on a plane.
Yep. I thought it was a really good twist in Die Hard 2, and like the commandos they called in to get him were actually like working with him, because like they were around for a good chunk of the movie.
John Amos, who played like one of the head military guys.
Yep.
That was a good role, actually. And the fight scene on the wing of the plane was pretty cool.
Again, totally realistic, like most Die Hard stuff. But
Of course.
You're right; it was a very good fight, and it was cool the way it ended. It's like trailing fuel off the plane as it's taking off, and he lights it on fire and catches up with the plane. Like,
that was
cool on-screen moment. Yeah,
a really good use of CGI back then, 1990.
Yeah, that worked. Yeah.
Industrial Light and Magic, who they did Jurassic Park and Terminator 2. They did the visual effects for Die Hard 2.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why they look so good.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did the effects on this with a Vengeance, but yeah. Jared, are you a fan of CGI, or do you think it should be used in moderation?
Yeah, it depends. It depends.
Sorry to interrupt. We just got to the credits where it says visual effects by Mass Illusion and Lennox Industrial or something like that.
Oh,
Who they are. But, anyway, sorry, Jared, go on.
Yeah. No. I wasn't really saying anything. Yeah, it's just it's always fun to go back and look at goofy bad effects.
True.
Yeah.
Like the alligator in the Eraser.
Yes.
Yeah, that.
I would say Mortal Kombat 2, but there's no reason anyone should ever go back and watch Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh, speaking to that, I haven't seen the new trailer yet, but I've heard.
I saw the teaser. It looks like Mortal Kombat, but don't know much else about it. I'll watch it when it comes out, though. I think.
Yeah. Having fun, Jared?
Yes.
The great.
Yes, I am.
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah, I love CGI when the CGI is good, but I hate it when it's bad. Like, to me, it's not like something I rely on in a movie. I just expect it to be good. I feel like there was this phase probably around when this movie came out, or shortly thereafter maybe, where like the people who did the special effects were like, we're so good at this now, we can make anything look realistic. But then when it actually showed up on screen, it was like, are you serious? Like, it didn't look like perfectly realistic. I think over the last couple of years, have they gotten really, really good at it in making it, making the ability to see the difference between CGI and something that's done in real life.
Yeah, well, I mean, no doubt that the technology has advanced in the last 20 years or even 30 years. But now all the Marvel movies, like, and even Justice League and all the DC, it's all visual effects. Like
it's too much.
The last half hour of all these movies is one gigantic battle where it looks like a video game. Nothing is real. And that's a huge turnoff for me when I'm watching a movie. I want to actually see real stuff and kind of pepper in visual effects here and there, but don't make the whole thing CGI. Like Aquaman, like the last battle in Aquaman it was just too much. It was obnoxious.
Yeah, I like that's definitely true when I watch movies that are supposed to be with like sort of in our realm of reality at least a little bit. Like a great example of perfectly done real world action is Mad Max Fury Road. Like if it's CGI to just make cars flip over, then yeah, you don't really need to do that. Like that's the exact kind of thing that looks better in real life. But I gotta disagree with like the Marvel and DC stuff. Like superheroes, you can't really do that in real life. Like you can't create like a couple thousand CGI monsters and have them actually charge across the field at.
Well, I mean,
like you've got to use more CGI than you can for something like Mad Max. But yeah, I do understand like that, like your complaint that it's kind of the go-to thing now. And I totally understand that. But like what I was saying before is that I think like only very, very recently have they been able to do that and have it still look good, like look good enough that most people aren't going to notice anything. Like we before, like of the three of us before the scene even came up in Die Hard here with like the water in the tunnel, we're already talking about that as like cheesy special effects. If they did that now and still use CGI, I think it would be very, very seamless.
Yeah,
I guess it depends on the film, on the context, the film, and the what's going on with the story. But I want to go back to like 1980, Superman 2. They did pretty much the whole. I mean, there was CGI, yes, but it was mostly practical, and the fight scenes between Superman and Zod, it worked really, really well. They kind of replicated that in Man of Steel, but that was just all CGI, and that was a total letdown for me. But
I mean, the DC ones, of course, are not nearly as good as the Marvel ones, anyways. I think everybody would acknowledge.
True.
Yeah, like there are a bunch of times in the like Justice League and the other DC movies where like they kind of don't understand how momentum works. Things like come to it like a sudden stop right away without, which is not how movement works.
DC is kind of going in the right direction, but they're really riding on the coattails of Marvel. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm interested in seeing the Snyder cut.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, might review that on a future show. I will keep you posted on that. I love this movie. I will always love this movie, and it was just a lot of fun revisiting it with you, fine gentlemen.
Definitely, I had a blast.
Yeah, no, it was good. Hats off to Die Hard 3.
Yes, sir. All right. Garrett, Dave, thank you so much. You guys are always welcome on the show to record and talk movies, as always. And this has been great. I'm Randy Unger. This has been Unger the Radar presents Movie Commentaries, and we'll see you next time. Take care.